Welcome into Viking Central, Vikings versus Titans pregame show, our final and third preseason game. We're ready for the regular season to start, so I'm just getting closer, getting that itch. I got Austin with me here today. How we doing, Austin?
Doing pretty good. Just excited, getting ready to go. Preseason's almost over, so I'm excited to see the Bears next week.
And making his debut on Viking Central's Joe. Joe, how we doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Super pumped to be here. Can't wait to talk ball.
Let's do it. I'm really excited too. I mean, we're probably going to see a lot of Max Brosmer today, and we're going to talk about that a little bit here in the show as well. So looking forward to that. I am going to play a spot real quick from one of our sponsors, and that is That's Badass Wood Art.
This segment of the Viking Central podcast is sponsored by That's Badass Wood Art. They have some really cool pieces in their shop online that speak to gamers, sports fans, or just nostalgic and trendy pieces for your garage, home, or office. Luis at That's Badass Wood Art can even make you something custom if you don't see it in his store. Shoot him a message with an idea, link, or picture of what you want, and Luis can make your dream wood art come true. Check them out now at www.thatsbadasswoodart.com and make sure you use our Viking Central coupon code of VC15 for 15% off at checkout. That's pretty badass.
That's a great way to support us, support a small business in Minnesota. That's Badass Wood Art. Again, use code VC15 for 15% off your order. Another great way to support us is just following us on social media. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you're watching here, and also subscribe to our Substack at VikingCentralSubstack.com. And you can see it at the bottom of the screen. So let's just hop right into it, guys. Again, talk some Vikings. And the big news here was the Vikings traded Harrison Phillips to the Jets. What do you think about that, Austin?
Well, I kind of think that was a surprising move from what we saw, but I mean, to be honest, Phillips has kind of had a couple of subpar seasons the past 2 years. He's not really a good fit in the Brian Flores system. We went and got two great D linemen. And then like we're showing here, we have a lot of good young D linemen too. So this could be a good spot to free up cap space, have a pick to maybe even go make a trade, or even it's the free up space on the 53 man, because there's a lot of people competing for those last couple of spots. And I could see us just making room for more people.
Yeah, no doubt. And Joe, well, what was your kind of initial thought? Like, was it a surprise to you? What do you think of the trade? Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like it was more of a surprise because of how good of a locker room guy he was versus his play. I think that shocked me more than anything. He is getting up there. I would say, he's lost a step or two, but I would say just losing him as a locker room guy, I think is going to really hurt us.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Great in the locker room. I mean, they even put out like Kevin O'Connell put out a little paragraph about Harrison Phillips. He doesn't do that for everyone, and it just shows how good he was in the community, in the locker room, really beloved. He was a good player too. Got to give him his props. He was a really solid player for us for a few years, but like Austin said, you can just see all these young names. Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, rookie, been already playing with the first team. Jalen Redmond, they're really high on. Levi Drake Rodriguez, a draft pick from last year. Elijah Williams, who kind of has come out of the blue a little bit. And then Taki Taimani, where he might not even make the team just because of all the depth here. In your guys' opinion, and we can start with you again, Austin, who's the name that out of these five that I have here, who are you really looking forward to kind of really make an impact in 2025?
Well, I mean, you said it with Elijah Williams. He's looked really good, but I mean, honestly, Jalen Redmond, we saw a lot of good from him last year. He does good both in the run game and more importantly, he gets interior pass rush, which is kind of a big deal and something we kind of struggled with last year. And then that's honestly something that Harrison Phillips kind of struggled with himself. So I think that's kind of more where we're trying to lean towards, trying to get some more interior rush. And I think that's a great spot for us to fill that.
And what do you think, Joe?
I think Ingram-Dawkins is the guy that I'm really looking at because, I mean, any Georgia defender, that's you can't go wrong with that, honestly. But he's also really strong interior, and I feel like you said, Austin, that's something that could just be absolutely beneficial to us this year. So,
unless your name is Louis Sean, right?
Unless, yeah, we don't say his name around here anymore.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the injury kind of probably derailed some things and everything like that, but just never worked out. I mean, he does have a Super Bowl ring, right?
That is true. We can't take that away from him.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this group play. I mean, these are just guys behind Jonathan Allen, Javen Hargrave, guys that have been doing for a long time. So just these guys learning from those two veterans, I think is a huge plus. And I think they're going to get after it, get that interior pressure that we haven't got in a long time. And I think that's another kind of decision why they kind of moved on from Harrison Phillips. He's really good in the run game, really good taking up space. You don't see him getting after the quarterback a ton. And I think that's kind of what they're looking for in the middle of the defensive line there. So let's move on to the next thing here, wide receiver battle. I got 4 guys here. I got Ty Felton, Jayshon Jones, Lucky Jackson, Thayer Thomas, guys that are fighting for a couple of those final depth positions. And I might be missing a guy here because there's just a bunch of names back there. But
so many.
What's that?
I was just said there's so many names.
There's
so many names.
Yep. So many names. Kind of like the defensive line room, but at the same time, like maybe guys that are probably not up to that level of talent, but guys that can make a difference. Ty Felton, your 3rd round pick, Jayshon Jones, Lucky Jackson, Thayer Thomas. Now I've been here all for a few years. If you guys had a bet, and we'll start with you, Joe, are any of these guys a lock to make the roster? Maybe Ty Felton is the easy choice.
I feel like it has to be Ty Felton just because we selected him so high. So, and he is kind of just a burner, but I feel like he's a project receiver, and we knew that
for sure.
I feel like it would be really lost of us to cut him this early. So, out of all of them, I think it'd be him
for sure. And Austin, who do you think has like the most to gain versus the Titans?
I personally think it's going to be Thayer Jackson or Lucky Jackson because they're going to see a lot of usage, especially with the injuries in the running back room or the wide receiver room. And I honestly think that Lucky Jackson's going to be someone that's going to benefit. He's had decent preseason in the games. He's struggled in practice and joint practices, but I mean, he's averaging 9.8 yards a reception.
Yeah.
I think that's something that it's big when you get some good yards after the reception. I think he's a guy like that. He's quick. I think he's going to be someone in this preseason game. He's going to really show out and be big. But hopefully I don't put the jinx on it because I was saying that about Felton.
Jinx him.
I was saying that about Felton last week, how I was expecting a big game out of him, and he goes and fumbles. So, I mean, maybe I have that announcer's jinx. I don't know.
Let's hope not.
It could be, but like Joe said, let's hope not. The top of the room is pretty solidified, Justin Jefferson, but the issue is Jordan Addison's for sure going to be out the first 3 games. And Jalen Naylor, who knows what's going on with him? I mean, he's got that hand injury. Kevin O'Connell's kind of being quiet about it. There hasn't been like a report on it or anything like that. Okay, he might have surgery. He might not have surgery. Not giving us a lot of information. I mean, we're about 3 weeks out from the opener now. So it's coming fast. He could be back for week 1, and I'm just going to be honest with the audience. We're recording this the night before. So if there's a wide
breaking news in the morning,
if there's breaking news anytime on Friday before this drops, you can pretty much throw this all in the trash. But
yeah, we trade for Thielen and we're not talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are they not talking about
Thielen
it?
Or somehow Terry McLaurin is a Viking at 5:00 on Friday. Yeah, that's why we're not talking about it.
Kwesi does like to work past 9 p.m. So
exactly, he sure does. Yeah, he's a night shift GM. So if there is a name you want to add to this wide receiver room, there's a bunch of names that have been out there. Who is one name that you guys want to go, and either of you can start?
I kind of think the guy people haven't really talked a lot about is Tyler Lockett.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised he's not on a team because of his veteran presence. I think a guy like that with a depleted wide receiver room in the beginning of the year, I think he might be a good veteran presence for a rookie quarterback to go to.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I have my eyes on Rashid Shaheed. Not so much for the veteran presence, but I feel like he could be a really good way to get some extra targets out of the way for Jefferson. So not so much a veteran, but definitely a usable piece.
And I think he'd be a fantastic third option when
he comes
back. Get Addison back.
Yeah.
And I would consider Addison kind of a deep threat. I mean, he can really stretch the field, but like Rashid Shaheed is
a true deep threat.
True deep threat. he would open up the middle of the field so much for Justin Jefferson, Jordan
Oh.
Addison, TJ Hawkinson. And that's kind of the bread and butter with the Kevin O'Connell system. Like, open up the middle of the field a little bit and let these guys just do their work and scheme these guys open. So I really like that, and I really like the Tyler Lockett fit too. More so because he's just so savvy. He can get open.
Yeah.
Just having that veteran presence in that locker room and in that group with a lot of young guys in the back end of the depth chart there. So those two names, I really do love it. I'm going big game hunting. And I'm also going to stay on the Saints. I'm going after Chris Olave. And that's kind of my opinion. And it's probably not going to happen. But he'd be
man can dream.
Yep. Yeah, he'd be under team control for the next 2 seasons, not making a ton of money. And I know we got to probably pay Jordan Addison, but who knows what the Vikings are kind of feeling on that front. So, hey, I'm going after Chris Olave. What do you think he would look like in this offense?
I think he would be great. I honestly think he's a veteran enough presence. He's been in the league long enough to where I think and plus he's such a big red zone threat. I think he could help Felton out, mentoring him even. And like you said, 2 years. We get Addison back, and our receiver room looks like that. Our top 3 receivers are pretty much Pro Bowlers or close to Pro Bowlers. I think that would be a fantastic look. I think this, like you said with Shaheed, I think that opens up the middle of the field, opens up the outsides, because he does well going out and as well. So yeah. I think just to add an Ohio State receiver would be fantastic.
It would do a lot of good for JJ McCarthy, I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, that's no doubt.
I'm like, if you fail with the trio of Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Chris Olave,
there's no
and
hope for
TJ
you.
Hawkinson, there's something going on there. And then Kevin O'Connell, Kevin O'Connell head in the snake a little bit. So yeah, no, that's great points by all of you. Good names. And again, this is being pre-recorded on Thursday night. If anything happened, that's why we're not talking about it, or we're just flat out wrong about something we're talking about.
Yeah.
So,
or right.
We could be right. We could be looking like geniuses right now.
Yeah, seriously.
So. But let's get into the next thing. And I just got Max Brosmer. I mean, we're looking forward to watching him play. It sounds like Brett Rippon and Max are the only 2 quarterbacks that are going to play. I don't think Sam Howell's playing.
I hope not.
Versus the Titans. Yeah, I'll see 1 quarter of Brett Rippon. That's plenty for me. And then give the reins to Max for the rest of the game.
Yeah, we kind of know what we have with Rippon at this point. Yep. I feel like the more we can see out of Max, I think that's even better. So
yeah.
I think Brosmer is someone that everyone around the league is like monitoring in that situation. I think that's why he's got to make the roster. I think he gets picked up immediately if we do drop him, but he's not getting the practice squad.
No, he would get picked up pretty quick. Just what he's put on tape so far, and what he might put on tape versus the Titans too. And we're going to see a lot of Max, and I'm really looking forward to that. And like Joe said, we know what Brett Rippon is. He's a veteran quarterback at this point. He's an extension of Kevin O'Connell and Josh McCown in the quarterback room. That's what he is. And I don't know how bad the Vikings want to get rid of him either, just because of the presence that he has in the locker room and in the quarterback room. So do you think he would make it to the practice squad if he was cut? Do you think Brett Rippon could be the practice squad quarterback?
I do. I don't think a lot of teams are going to go after him. I think for the same reasons why it's pretty obvious that Max is going to probably make the roster. I think Rippon really hasn't played his way into a spot. So I think he easily would make it to the practice squad. For sure. And I'm going to give you guys kind of put you on the spot here, and we'll start with Joe. Over and under 1.5 touchdowns for Max Brosmer versus the Titans.
I know the Titans aren't starting pretty much any of their main guys, so I'm going to go with over.
Love it. How about you, Austin?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I think he plays well. I think we struggle to get in the end zone. I think he's going to drive us down the field. I'm going to take the under on that.
All right. Will Reichard 5 for 5 field goal game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So
build the thrill.
Yep. He could still play and not get that over. I mean, we could get the
running back touchdowns.
Xavier Scott 3 touchdowns.
Scott 3 touchdowns. I'd be all for it. We know Kevin O'Connell's kind of wanting to work the run game a little bit this year, and he's kind of said that the last couple of years, but I think he's sticking true to it this time around with having a first year quarterback. So, but we're all looking forward to Max playing today, and hopefully he does well. So,
and the Gopher fan in me is rooting for him too.
Hell yeah. I think the whole state of Minnesota.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Heck yeah, love it. All right, so I asked you guys some players to watch here before, and we can just kind of go down the list here again. Kind of a reason why we picked these three players. Austin, you got Lucky Jackson, Miles Price, Joe Huber. Joe, you got Gabriel Murphy, Miles Price, Dwight McGlothern. I picked Thayer Thomas, Jay Ward, and Oscar Chapman. So we only have one that lines up, and that's Miles Price. And I'll start with you, Joe. What are you kind of looking for out of a Miles Price in this game?
I mean, I'm really just excited. I want him to make the team so we can get a good kick returner. After that Rondale Moore injury, we're really looking somewhere. I don't think Ty Felton's really you can't shove him in that year one.
For sure.
So I think Miles Price would be a great kick returner to have. And for tomorrow, I just want to see him get some catches. I mean, he only had 2 catches, a pair of catches both games. And I would like to see him get some more action, some more targets tomorrow, see what he can really do.
Yep, and he had that nice ball from Max Brosmer at the end of the game. It was right there. It was a tough catch.
It was a tough catch.
Yeah, but if he would have made that catch, that would have been huge both for Brosmer and Price. But are you kind of looking at the same things, Austin? With
in the return game, he looked really exciting last week. He has that explosive factor where I feel like every time, kind of with Sherrill's in the past, how every time he gets the ball, it kind of feels like he is shifty enough and quick enough where he might be able to house anything.
Yep, and he looks really natural back there, which is nice. You can tell when people are comfortable back there, returning punts and then returning kicks, and you could just tell with Kevin O'Connell too, with him being on the broadcast for that third quarter. They kind of talked up Miles Price a little bit, and I think you'd be pretty comfortable with him back there. So other than that, Austin, you got Lucky Jackson and Joe Huber to round out your list. Why those 2 specific players?
Well, Joe Huber, he had a very good first week. He had the best Pro Football Focus of undrafted free agents. He was doing a great job in the run game, and I think that's somewhere we struggled in the past. And I think having a depth piece at the guard who can also flip out and play tackle like he did at Cincinnati, I just think someone like him could be an exciting piece to be a backup, maybe even could compete at some point. I don't think anytime soon, but I think he's a good guy out of Wisconsin. They just breed the linemen over there. So, I mean, I think he's going to be a big piece in the game tomorrow, and I think he's going to prove why he's going to make the roster. And then with Lucky Jackson, I was talking about him earlier. He has a lot to prove, and he's going to have a lot of opportunity with all the injuries. That he has the most to gain out of anyone on this roster, I feel like.
For sure. Yeah, the one good thing that comes out of Wisconsin is offensive linemen.
That's true.
Offensive linemen. So how about you, Joe? Gabriel Murphy and Dwight McGlothern. What about those guys?
Yeah, Murphy in the first game, he was against the Texans. He was 5 of the 11 QB hits. I mean, that alone is just amazing. And I know he's behind Gink and Grenard, and it would be really difficult to get him in. But I really think tomorrow he's going to prove to people. I think that's kind of what that whole game is tomorrow. It's everyone fighting for their last life to try to make it. And I think Gabriel is a guy that I'd like to have back there. If Dallas Turner doesn't pan out, who knows, right?
Yep.
So, and then with McGlothern, I just think Mekhi Blackman off the injury, we don't entirely know what we have still. For sure. And so it would be cool to see a guy like that. He has the Pat Surtain build. He's 6'2", he's 185. He's a very lengthy corner, and I feel like that's super valuable in the league today. Corners like that.
100%, and that's exactly what Brian Flores is looking at for a corner too. He just fits that mold 100%. Gabriel Murphy, I'm a huge fan, and I think he's going to make the team. And I think he's gonna get some snaps. I think.
I hope so. I agree with you.
Yeah. So yeah, if he pans out and Dallas Turner pans out, watch out, because we got 4 pass rushers that are ready to get after your quarterback.
And Gabriel Murphy's only 24 as well. So
yeah, young guys back there.
Young guys.
For sure. Really looking forward to watching him play and just continue to develop. Love those 3 guys that you got. I had Thayer Thomas, Jay Ward, Oscar Chapman. I'm a huge Thayer guy. A lot of people know that. And he's been working with the first team like during training camp and during practice. And we just haven't really seen it translate to games yet. And I don't know if that's just, working with a different quarterback or just not. Obviously, then you're not on the field with like Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. It's not going to open up as much either. So I just want to see Thayer have a good game, maybe get into the end zone, catch 5 or 6 passes. Just have a really good stat line. I want to see Jay Ward continue to develop. He's been doing some nice things. And we need that 4th guy in the safety room. We got Josh Metellus, we got Harrison Smith, we got Theo Jackson, but we really need that 4th guy there as well. Because Harrison Smith's 36 years old. I mean, he's probably not going to play a full 17 games. That's the way it is. So he might have to play some snaps. And then Oscar Chapman, I got to give the punter some love. I think he might be our punter for the year. I think if they weren't serious about this competition, he would have been gone already. And he held, I think, 3 field goals for Will Reichard versus the Patriots. So they're definitely trying to get things going. And Will himself said he was comfortable with Oscar holding for him. So what do you guys think of those 3 players?
Yeah, I think Jay Ward was a great pick. I think he is another guy with a lot to gain tomorrow. With a good game, he could solidify that 4th spot. And it's like you said, with the 36-year-old veteran guy back there in Harrison Smith, we never know how many games he's going to play. He has been an Iron Man though in the past, but I really like his game. He fits into the Brian Flores system great. And I think he's someone that could see some field time, not a lot, but could see a couple of series here and there in a regular season game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Before we continue into the show, I do want to shout out one more sponsor, and that's Homage. You see the link up there. Right now, Vikings clothing is like 20 to 30% off, and they just do a great job. Absolutely love Homage. Been buying from them for a long time. So just want to play a quick spot for them as well.
Viking Central is sponsored by Homage. They are a clothing company that has an online store filled with items that feature your favorite sports teams, video games you used to or still play, one-liners from that movie you love to quote, and much more. They are reasonably priced, stylish, and comfortable clothing that will have you coming back for more. Use our Viking Central QR code to shop today and buy a shirt that will have your coworkers and friends reminiscing over fond memories, have a few laughs, and look good while doing it. Homage, where legendary comfort is on deck.
Yeah, scan that QR code, get some great gear for you guys. Homage, again, hit that link and they'll get you hooked up. So we got some fan mailbag here, and we can kind of just tag team this a little bit and answer these. Skullmaster on X asked, who are they bringing in with the additional funds and that extra 6th-round pick? So this is regarding the Harrison Phillips trade. So they saved about $4 million to the cap, and then they also gained an extra, actually 2 extra 6. We threw back a 7th. Do you guys foresee this? And I'm going to go back and say something could have happened already.
Yeah,
it's Thursday night. But do you guys think this is for a wide receiver?
I feel like it has to be. I don't see any way around it. And obviously, my heart tells me it's for Adam Thielen. But we don't know if that's fully true. I know they were reaching out to the Panthers, but that's what I truly want. And I think most people would agree with that.
Yeah, our wide receiver room is so depleted right now. It almost has to go towards a wide receiver. I don't see any other way for this, and it's like you said, Joe. Everyone wants it, and a little known fact that you may not know about Adam Thielen is he is an undrafted free agent. You've never heard. No one's ever heard that one before.
And he's from Detroit Lakes, right?
Yeah.
Detroit Lakes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, he's just so beloved in Minnesota. If that happens, yeah, they're gonna be so hyped for week 1. That just adds to the and JJ McCarthy and Thielen, they
worked out
pretty much all summer together. So there's some chemistry there already. And I know Kevin O'Connell with I don't know if you guys saw that Kay Adams clip, but
I did.
Worked at the question a little bit. Like, yeah, that would be nice.
It seemed like he was hiding something, but maybe I'm digging too deep.
Hey, we're gonna find out soon here, I think. So that answer's that question's gonna be answered here real quick. We do have a couple more questions here. I ask before every pregame show for questions. Just ask your questions on X before every game, and we'll try to get you guys on the show here. So on to the next one. Trevi, Trey.64. Can Brian Flores? So this is retaining the Titans game, and I don't know how much they're going to blitz because he doesn't show a ton during preseason games, but he's asking, like, can they sustain the aggressive blitz heavy approach against this specific opponent, or will it leave them vulnerable? So let's just say Cam Ward's playing. Do you think like we could be successful against like a Cam Ward throwing the football down the field, especially with all those guys up front and the linebackers that are really capable of blitzing as well?
I really think we can. Brian Flores is really good at disguising his blitzes.
Yep.
And sometimes there's a lot of times where we'll have double A gap and it'll seem like we're definitely blitzing and we go full back and go in the zone or go into man coverage. And then there's other times where it looks like there's no way that we're going to blitz. I think that's the way Brian Flores is he masks his approaches very well pre-snap to where I think that it's always going to be sustainable. But I feel like he also sometimes can read into a scouting report, and he does a good job of not blitzing a lot in a game when he knows teams are expecting it.
Yeah. And I'll reframe this question for you, Joe. So I'm kind of the same point here, but do you think he's going to blitz as much, even with like a bunch of new like pass rushers, interior pressure up front with these guys and Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave?
I think he's going to stick with what he's always done. I think he picked these guys knowing he's going to run his defense that way. And so I think he's going to continue doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's known for. So,
it is.
But it's just going to give him so much more options to, like Austin said, disguise, lead into more interceptions, lead into more bad passes from the quarterback. I mean, more mistakes for the offense just overall. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to what he kind of mixes in with all these new pieces, especially in the front seven there.
I think that's why he went and got the defensive tackles that are able to blitz. I think that helps out. That helps a lot with the masking of stuff. You don't always have to send people if you can get the pressure your front four.
Exactly. And we haven't got like consistent interior pressure, I mean, since Brian Flores has got here. And like you said, that's why we brought in these guys. So I'm really looking forward to just getting some pressure up front, because that's going to let our edge rushers eat a little bit more too, which they've kind of been doing already since they've been here. But yeah, just really looking forward to seeing the new tricks Flores has under his sleeve there. So on to the next one is Schoolboy Hart. What is the confidence level going into the season regarding J.J. McCarthy? We'll start with you, Joe.
I'm not worried at all. I mean, I think we're just being extra safe. Why not? Justin Jefferson does not need to play preseason games. I think he's got that chemistry down with McCarthy as much as we can before an actual snap. They've been working out all off season. I'm not worried at all. I think we're just playing it very safe.
100%. Yeah, I agree. And they also played a lot together in camp last year too. So I think they have that connection down. Jefferson's an easy receiver to work with. I think he's gonna be very successful this year, especially with McCarthy. Yeah.
And we talked about this before, like, this is just a really good situation, especially now the offensive line. They really focused on that in the offseason, just getting 5 guys up there that can play really well together. And I think that's why they kind of paired Ryan Kelly and went and got Will Fries after that, just to have a level of continuity there right off the bat. And, yeah, J.J. McCarthy, Kevin O'Connell, I don't think he's going to put too much on his plate right away. He's really going to focus on Aaron Jones. They got Jordan Mason for a reason, especially with these first 3 games, Jordan Addison out and just him getting more comfortable. I think they're just going to really rely on the run game. And that's going to open up the play action where J.J. McCarthy's really good as well. So I feel really confident. And J.J. himself said, yeah, confident, most confident I've ever been. So we like to hear that for sure. So on to the next one here. So we're going to play a little game here, keep or cut. And we can just kind of go, I think I have 4 names here, just kind of go down the line here. So, and this is a guy that we talked about already a little bit, kind of in a crowded defensive line room. Taki Taimani, Austin, keep or cut?
I'm going to go cut. I think we have too talented of a room, but I think he's a guy that doesn't make it to the practice squad either. I think he finds his way onto another NFL roster this season.
What do you think, Joe?
Exact same thing here. I would say cut. I think the rest of the guys are too talented to keep a guy like that. But like you said too, though, he's definitely going to get picked up.
For sure. I mean, yeah, if we kept him, I think that'd be 7 guys in the middle. And I just don't see that happening. I mean, 6 I think is even stretching it a little bit, but I think they're going to keep the other 6, unfortunately. Nothing Taimani did. I think he's made plays in the preseason. He played well last year. So yeah, and I think he will get picked. I mean, if he slides to the practice squad and just sits there, I mean, hey, all the better. But unfortunately, cutting him, not because of the player, more of just the situation at the position. So on to the next one here, Zamaya Vaughn. And we'll start with you, Joe. Keep her cut.
I'm going cut again. I
wow.
I don't believe that he is the right build for that we need right now for that. But
Okay.
I also could see him totally making the roster, but I personally would cut him.
I'm gonna go keep here. I think he is showing a strong enough camp to where he's gonna be able to. He might be one of the last guys on the roster in my opinion, but
Yeah.
I kind of liked what I saw from him in film at the joint practices too. I think that he'll make the roster
For sure. I've kind of really been going back and forth on this, and I just keep thinking of the room. So you got Byron Murphy, Isaiah Rogers, Mekhi Blackman, Jeff Okuda, Dwight McGlothern. So that's 5. Is he going to be the 6th guy? Now, my thought is they could probably bring in another guy too, even if it's on waivers or maybe it is a trade. And I think that could kind of dictate. But for now, I think I am going to keep him as that 6th corner if they do keep 6. But he's definitely like one of the last 2 or 3 guys on the roster, in my opinion. But I wouldn't be surprised either way. All right, Thayer Thomas, my guy. Talked about him a little bit. Austin, keep or cut.
If we don't make a move at the wide receiver room, he's gonna have to be a keep.
Yep.
I think he has had a strong enough camp to where he has even competed with Lucky Jackson. And I think like the 2 of them are gonna be competing in the game today. So,
yep.
But I think if the wide receiver room stays where it's at, I think we keep. But I think if we make a move, he might be gone. But I'm gonna say keep for now.
How about you, Joe?
I'm also saying keep. I also am an NC State basketball fan. I know he's from NC State, so I am kind of rooting for him. But like you said, if the room stays the same, you have to keep him. But, if we make a move for a guy or we pick up a guy or who knows, then he's got to go.
Yep. And I think it's going to be a clean sweep here. I'm going to keep him as well. Just because I feel like the coaching staff has shown some confidence, even if it has only been during practice that he has been working with the ones a little bit. Like I said, it hasn't really translated to preseason games, but you can definitely see there's some chemistry there with him and JJ McCarthy, which I think is going to help him in the long run. But again, if anything happens with this wide receiver room between now and the game, I could definitely see where he's just an odd man out, unfortunately. But our last one here, Austin's guy. So we'll start with you, Austin. Joe Huber, keeper cut.
I think I have to say keep after all I've said, but no, but I honestly, I think that he's going to stay. I think he is a versatile guy. He does good in the run game. Even in the preseason games, I think he's only allowed 2 pressures. I think he can block both sides. He can do both. So I think he's going to be a versatile guard for the Vikings, and it's a good option if we have to go deep into the depth charts.
I'm totally going keep here too. I mean, big white lineman out of Wisconsin, you can't go wrong. And he had the highest PFF grade week 1 out of all rookies with 94. So, I mean, you can't just throw that away. I'm doing keep 100%.
Yeah, I think it was 94 week 1, and I think it was like 88, I think.
Something like that.
It's pretty crazy. And unfortunately, I'm cutting him, unfortunately. So you got your 5 starters. So that's left to right here. Christian Darrisaw, Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, Will Fries. Then you got Brian O'Neill. Then you got Walter Rouse is for sure making the team.
Yeah.
Michael Juergens is for sure making the team. I think Blake Brandel is for sure making the team. Now, they usually keep 8 or 9, I think. And I don't even know if I miss it. Justin School is kind of going to be maybe your swing tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to keep 10. I think it could be between School and Huber. And I know Blake Brandel's can kind of kick around the tackle spot, and Walter Rouse. So maybe just because of that, with the versatility there, they might keep Huber, especially the way he's been playing. But for now, I'm sorry, guys, I got to say cut. But I wouldn't be surprised either way because he has balled out as much as an offensive lineman can during the preseason so far. So there's our keeper cut segment. Before we go, any last thoughts on the game versus the Titans here? just regarding our quarterback play, what our defense is going to look like throughout the year. Maybe the running backs a little bit. They picked up another running back. I think it's Zavadian Valladay.
I
And I don't know why I don't really know why, because they got Xavier Scott, Ty Chandler, Trey Stewart. Do they really need 4 running backs for the last preseason game? Is Xavier Scott even going to dress tomorrow? I mean,
I heard he was, but
yeah, I saw he was too.
Okay, he is. Okay. So that's just kind of a little curious to me why they needed another running back, I guess.
I agree.
But do you guys think Xavier Scott's on the roster?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, I'm hoping to see a lot of him tomorrow. He's an exciting running back. Yeah. He loves to make plays. It was like Paul Allen was alluding to. He's great in the screenplay too. So that's going to be something to watch out for. But he just reads those holes and he hits them hard. I just love it. He has good vision.
For sure.
Yeah. I over Ty Chandler 100% at this point. No doubt. Yeah.
We've seen what Ty Chandler can kind of do. And that coaching staff has never really had like the confidence in Ty to even have like a part-time role. I mean, here and there he'll do good. I think he had a good game like 2 years ago versus the Bengals where he had like 120 yards or something like that.
Keep in mind it was the Bengals.
Yeah, exactly. That defense has been a wreck. Poor Joe Burrow. But yeah, I don't know. I think Xavier Scott does make the team, and I didn't even put him on the keeper cut because I figured you guys would say keep.
Easy.
So I think he is going to be our third running back, and he was a wide receiver previously, so that's probably kind of where he got the instincts in the screen game, which could really help because our screen game has not been very good. But other than that, do you guys got any other last thoughts? Good to go?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I got it out. I'm just ready for the game.
Hell yeah, looking forward to it. And appreciate everyone hopping on. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, or X, make sure to like our page or subscribe to us. If you're on YouTube, hit that bell for notifications. Vikings versus Titans, final preseason game. Again, getting one step closer. To week 1, Monday Night Football versus Chicago Bears. Oh, that's going to be a lot. I'm going to be happy football is back, but at the same time, we got to wait all the way till Monday, of course, for that opener. But hey, primetime football, J.J. McCarthy versus Caleb Williams, Kevin O'Connell versus Ben Johnson. Hey, can't get much better than that. Viking Central, God bless. We'll see you guys in the next video.